In this demonstration, I'll show you some ways to edit element features. That would include things like UML attributes and UML operations. And in this example, I'm just going to make some simple edits to the attribute name and its notes. I'll also add a new parameter for this getName operation. So I'll start with the attribute and show you Enterprise Architect's versatile properties view for editing attributes and operations. So from the start ribbon, we click Properties, and that invokes the properties view. You'll notice that this is a context-sensitive view, so it reflects the contents of whatever I have currently selected. If I click on the diagram here in the project browser, it'll reflect its contents. Similarly, if I click on the element and back to the attribute that we want to edit. So to edit the name, it's very simple. Just go into the name cell, and let's assume that I want this to be surname instead, like so. And you'll see as soon as I click outside the cell, that information is saved for me. There are a number of other properties that I can edit for the attribute, but another really important one is the notes, and we have a dedicated editor for that. So again, from the start ribbon, under Properties, I can just click Notes, and that'll invoke another context-sensitive view. You'll see that it's showing the notes for the attribute that I have currently selected in the project browser, and based on the edit that I made, I need to change the notes there to surname. And again, that's automatically saved for me. What you'll notice with these views that I'm showing you is that they are docking views. It means that I can reposition them around my workspace to suit the way that I edit. To do that, I just simply left-click and drag on the tab here, and I can drag that window to another place. I can have it floating like this, so it's above other windows. I can snap it into one of the preset positions, say for example just under the project browser here, or maybe even under the diagram. And if I do something like that, it enables me to view all of the properties for the given model construct that I'm editing. So I can update the name, the notes, without having to open and close dialogues, click save, and so forth. So it's a really useful way of working. Another dockable dialog that I'd like to show you is the features view, because that provides a list of all the features for the element that I'm currently working on. So again, I can access that from the start ribbon, under Properties. I just click Features, and you see that it shows me all of the attributes for the currently selected element. And again, it's context sensitive, so if I change to, say, the vehicle kind enumeration here, it provides me a list, in this case, of all the enumeration literals. I can use that view to quickly add new items or edit existing features. So to add a new one, for example, just click the new attribute cell here. Let's say I want a new vehicle type of boat. Very quickly, I can add that to my model. Similarly, I can overtype one of the existing values here. For example, if the name car was wrong and it should be, say, aircraft or something like that, I can just type that. I'm just going to escape to undo that change because it's that's not a change I want to make to the model, but you get the idea. So a really useful way of working. You'll notice that this features view also provides different tabs for the different kinds of features. So I've got the operations tab here, and that brings us to our next change. If I return to the owner element, I wanted to add a new parameter to the getName operation here. So I can simply do that by clicking to the parameters column. Once I click the ellipsis button, that invokes the operation properties view, and I can start adding parameters in this parameters tab here. So let's assume I want a parameter to specify what format the name should be returned in. So I'll just add a format parameter. We'll leave the type as the default int there. We might also add, say, a default value. Let's assume I've got some defined constants. Let's say full represents the full name string to be returned, and there's a corresponding integer for that. Now you see, as soon as I've added that information, it's automatically updated back in the features view, also in the project browser and the diagram. They all reflect that new parameter there. I want to show you a handy shortcut to invoke one of these editing views from the project browser. You can select a feature in the project browser, then right-click and choose Properties. Then you have a list of the feature editing windows you can open. Alternatively, you can press Enter when you've selected a feature in the project browser, and you'll get a launch pad to open the Properties, Notes, or the Features view. So what I've shown you there is a way to use these non-modal and these docking views to very efficiently edit various parts of your model. And you can lay out those windows to suit the way that you work. But with Enterprise Architect 14.1, we also provide the option to use the Modal Dialog approach. I'll just show you that very quickly. So from the Start ribbon, it provides an option under Visual Style. Click that to tell Enterprise Architect to prefer property dialogues instead of the docking non-modal views. So once I click OK there, next time when I go to the project browser and right-click to open up the properties for this element feature, it brings up this modal dialog, which basically combines a number of the views that I showed you. You can see I've got like a mini features view here because I've got a list of the attributes in which I can add new attributes and edit existing ones. I've got like a mini properties view here. All the detailed attribute properties are listed along with a detailed or dedicated notes editor as well. And I've got operations and different feature types that I can access. So on the one hand, it's good because it combines all of the views that I showed you into one modal dialog, but then being modal, it means that I'm not able to just navigate through the model to select a different element to work on. So it depends on the approach that you like, but in version 14.1 we provide these two basic approaches and good ways of editing element features.